Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today, going to do another video on sports cards, and we're going to talk a little bit about kind of the valuation differences between basketball cards and hockey cards. And in my view, hockey cards might be a little bit undervalued, in all honesty. And I'll walk you through why I think that, and just some of the interesting stuff here that we've seen. So first, just kind of going to pull the prices of a few kind of the big name rookies from the last few years, see how much they're kind of rookie card is selling for. So for basketball, it's going to be Prism. So we'll see like a Zion Prism 685, 690, 676. And this is a pretty relatively easily obtainable card back when the product launched if you open the product. And then if we look here, here's a Prism Silver. These were harder to get, and those are selling for $5,500. So we're going to do this with just a few different cards and kind of see um, let's see, outside of Zion, who was another one? Ja was a big rookie. Or here, let's go Luka. Luka's kind of the big rookie, really. So base Luka, 1,500 bucks, 1,600 bucks. So we'll just do Luka Prism, 15, and then a Prism Silver is probably crazy. Yeah, 8,700 bucks. Okay, so there we go. Um, we'll use these two as kind of a base comparison. And then, so what we'll compare this to now is Sidney Crosby, Young Gun, PSA 10. And this card should sell for about 5,000. And I guess the difference here, what makes it tough to really compare is the base cards um, out of Prism, right? If you opened a box of Hoppy Prism, you are more than likely going to get a Luka base or a Zion base. But the silver would be much harder. Those would probably fall like one per case or something. And a case would be like 12 boxes. The Crosby Young Gun was short printed. You probably got one of those per case. So this is probably more equivalent to the silvers, just for comparison. So you'll see a Crosby Young Gun is selling for less than a Zion or a Luka. And we'll pull up Ovechkin as well here and just see what he's selling for. And then I'll go in why I think that, so 4,700, 4,800, 4,000. So probably about 4,000 in auction format, it looks like. Um, I'll talk to you why I think that hockey cards are actually undervalued. And the reason for that is, let's go over here to the PSA population report. Right, so let's go Sidney, Crosby, Young Gun. Let's see if that pulls it up. 2005 Upper Deck. Yeah, maybe it's easier if I do it that way. (2005) Upper Deck Hockey. And then, where's Crosby and Ovechkin? Here, just probably. Sidney Crosby. So there is 756 of them graded at 10. So let me add a column here and call it population. And then let's come back here. Let's search for Ovechkin. 845. So, you know, it's a decent amount. But now let's go over to Zion. So what is that? 2020 Prism. Can I search here now? There you have it. His base card. There's 15,997. And then where is his? It should just be a silver prism. But I mean, you can see there's all these different variations. So there's 1,155. And if we come up here now, go basketball cards, And we'll go to 2018. Okay. Panini Prism. We'll see how many Lukas there are. And then we just do a quick little calculation here. And then I'll kind of explain my reasoning as to why I think um, a lot of these things are overpriced. So 16,214. That's crazy. And you'll see like all these other ones, right? These are all variations of just different Luka rookies, which is crazy if you really kind of think about it. And if you think about, so 2004, for hockey cards for Upper Deck, there would be an exclusive parallel number to 100 and then a high gloss number to 10. Outside of that, you just had the Young Gun. So there's really not that many. So, I mean, I don't know if market cap is really the right terminology here for this, but basically the value of all of these PSA 10 cards, kind of just comparing, you can quickly see like, um, here's the thing. So Zion Williamson, he could be a great player. I think he's already proven he's not going to be the next LeBron James or Michael Jordan, but he could be a great player, an all-star for years to come. But right now we're saying his kind of two true rookie cards, or like most sought after rookie cards, I would say, out of his rookie year is $17 million market cap. Luka's an all-star, no doubt about it. Probably one of the best players in the league right now. Is he going to break a bunch of scoring records and win a bunch of championships? I don't know. Could, maybe, maybe not. Still a lot of time to determine. 41.8 million, right? Crosby, 3.9 million. Ovechkin, 3.4 million. So I guess what I'm saying here when I say these cards are hockey cards are completely undervalued. Crosby is already, he's probably a top 15 player all time to ever play. Um, I mean, obviously, if you're Canadian, you might make the argument he's a top five player or something. And, if he was healthy all these years, he would have scored more. And, I mean, by the time he's done with his career, he'll be probably top 15, top 20 for points. Um, Ovechkin, on the other hand, um, I mean, you could argue outside of Lemieux, greatest goal scorer in the NHL. Um, I think he's averaging slightly more goals per game than Gretzky did at like 0.61 versus like 0.59 or something for Gretzky. He's on pace if he can play, 4 more years and keep up his pace of scoring, he'll set the record for the most goals scored in the NHL of all time. Ovechkin is hands down the greatest goal scorer outside of Mario Lemieux, whose career was ended short because of cancer, um, to ever play in the NHL. And I guess what I'm trying to get at here is like there's just there's not a lot of love for hockey cards. And I mean, that's fair, right? Basketball is a global sport, hockey's not. But if you're looking for something that could truly appreciate pretty high in the next 10 years' time or something, right? I think there's a lot of room for hockey to grow in that aspect if sports cards are here to stay as an alternative asset where people are investing. And especially with Ovechkin, approaching the goal record, if he ends up passing Gretzky and setting the all-time goal record, right? I mean, then he becomes one of the greatest players to ever play the game. Um, and his rookie card is, it's like for less than a Zion Williamson, a dude who gets hurt and has bad knees or whatever, and bulked up and can't lose the weight. Um, so I mean, it's interesting to see kind of the difference here and how the markets are kind of treating it. And I think if you don't look at it as on a per card basis, but as a market cap basis, you can see that the Ovechkin ones are just drastically undervalued. And I think it's a much scarcer card. Panini has really pumped out a ton of these prisms and whatnot in the last few years and really kind of taking advantage of the market. But I came across a post the other day on a forum kind of talking about this. It's super interesting to look at, and when you kind of put the market cap piece into perspective. And another thing to consider is there's BGS as well, but there's not as many. Um, it's a similar story. There's more cards graded high by BGS for basketball than there is for hockey, and it's just a sheer production piece of Panini just producing so many cards, and they're trading well in the secondary market. So I mean, all for it, but um, it's not gonna, a base card of Luka Doncic can't keep up this valuation, I don't think. A Michael Jordan rookie card was selling for $1,500 a year ago. So like, the greatest player of all time for the longest time was only $1,500 for one, obviously not a PSA 10, but probably like a 4 or 5, but still, um, it's just crazy how many of them there are and how much they sell for. Because it's a highly inflated asset, and I don't know if it's just people aren't savvy enough to understand that you can go to PSA and pull up the registry and see how many there actually are, and the same with BGS. But just thought it was interesting, and something to consider if you are looking to put a percentage of your portfolio and some alternative stuff. Definitely do your research, but there's probably some gems out there in the hockey world that are overlooked. And I know like Gretzky rookies are just now you can pick up a Gretzky rookie still for $1,000. Wayne Gretzky's the greatest athlete ever. Like no one's anywhere close to over half his records, and like he's like the fastest person to like what was it, 1,000 points, and then he's also the second fastest person to 1,000 points if you start him again after that date in hockey. Like he's just so far above everyone else. And I know obviously basketball is a global sport. It's big in Europe. It's big in China. It's getting bigger in like Russia and places like that, in Serbia, with a lot of these players coming over that are actually doing pretty well. So there's definitely room for growth, and there's obviously a bigger market for basketball, but I think, if hockey can grow in popularity or continue, you could definitely see a lot of appreciation there. And I think with Ovechkin being Russian, and if he can set the goal record, that could bring a lot of European fans and a lot of Russian fans specifically kind of over into the market. So just something to think about that I came across and thought it was pretty interesting. So I hope you found this interesting or useful. It's not necessarily scientific, but just kind of a quick analysis there of how there may be some value to be unlocked in hockey cards, which are being a little bit overlooked in the moment just because of how popular basketball is. So thanks for tuning in. Hope you found it interesting. And yeah, leave any questions or comments you have below.